Gaming with Boomers! Yow. Hello and welcome everybody back to the channel. You are on Gaming with Boomers, watching another Victoria 3 Let's Play, playing as the Japanese Shogunate here with me today. Now, I have to give a little note for our viewers watching this particular episode. As I went to record the episode prior to this one, that unfortunately you're not going to be able to see, I pushed the wrong button and stopped the recording and didn't realize until I had finished. So, there's going to be a bit of a time gap. I will try to here in the beginning to kind of explain so far what's gone on since you've last viewed, give a quick little overview, and then we'll jump right back into the action. So with that in mind, let's get started. Alright, let's see here. State of the world as we know it. Unfortunately, right now, if you're just now joining us, the date is October 27th, 1850. I'm not exactly sure where the first episode stopped. I know that we began that episode. There was a revolution. I mean, it wasn't a revolution. I put it down because I canceled the particular event that wanted to be the law that was up for review. I said, no, I'm not willing to risk a huge revolution, not right now when I'm trying to grow my nation. Let's get a state real quick of the economy, and then I will show you kind of where we're building-wise, and then we'll jump right back in. So right now, it looks like fruit is still very expensive. We're looking at increasing that once we start building more farms. In the previous episode, I know that I switched over to fertilizer for our agricultural complexes. Unfortunately, that came with a big problem as far as supply and demand. Right now, I'm running a huge deficit. Right now, I'm trying to organically, pun intended, grow our fertilizer industry just through the use of livestock ranches, as I don't currently have any, if not very many, both sulfur and iron mines that are essential for the production of fertilizer, kind of organic, non-organic, kind of commercial agriculture, commercial fertilizer. So right now I'm trying to do it a little more organically, just kind of allowing these livestock farms to grow, while at the same time that's also going to decrease the cost of meat, because you can see right now meat is still very, very expensive. See if it's in Chobu, it's currently at 52.5. On the market is also the same. So like that means good. It means we don't have any infrastructure problems. So we're still currently running a big deficit. I was able to increase the size of our whaling industries without adding too much of a strain on our shipbuilding capabilities. So that started to kind of go up. So we're having both whaling and livestock ranches. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have any substance agriculture from our peasants that are feeding into the meat cost. So that's something I'm trying to remedy right now with an increased supply of livestock ranches. As you can see right now, grain and tools are they're a little expensive, but not to the detriment of meat and sulfur. Excuse me, meat and fertilizer. I gotta get my elements correct. Okay, with that in mind, let's see what else we're looking at building. Again, we're trying to build up the fruit industry. So it looks like right now there's a huge deficit on these as far as... I'm not sure. Because right now grain's really cheap. Probably most likely from that fertilizer being so expensive. So we're not making a whole lot of money. It looks like sugar is also fairly cheap. So I wonder if that's something I can try to either exploit through industry or exploit through trade. Let's see. Right now, our only industries are textiles, furniture, glass, tools, paper, and shipyards. So not a very advanced industry. Right now, I want to see if even food industries are available. I don't believe they are, because that would also help with our increasing our output. That'll be an avenue for sugar. It'll be an avenue for meat. It'll also produce alcohol. It will produce groceries. That'll kind of affect kind of our food production. Why not go ahead and we'll go and start building a couple maybe in each area. just to kind of bring those costs down. So we're going to bring a little bit of food production to our lands. Not going crazy. I usually increase them in implements of 5. Right now, until I know kind of how they're going to do economically, I'm just going to start with 2, and I'll go ahead and get those built first, just to kind of have an idea of how that's going to affect our food production and kind of our food outputs. Let's take a gander here. So we'll get that built first, and then at the same time, again, we're also trying to build up our rice plantations and things like that. So with that in mind, let me look at the corresponding technologies like sweeteners. Right now, canneries, that'll allow us to use canneries for our food industries, which increases iron and fish costs, but grain would go down. Again, if you're making cans of tuna, you don't need as much bread. It looks like we're almost getting fractional distillation, so that is slowly coming. That'll help us have patent stills for those food industries, which will increase the cost, increase the output of liquor, but also in sugar and glass. We'll probably start building things like, I know sake is a traditional Japanese rice wine. I'm not sure how much that goes in there. Let's hear baking powder. Sweeteners, I believe, is pretty far down. Let's see if I can find sweeteners. Oh, no, here. Well, it's baking powder. Where are sweeteners? Rubber, shift. I don't remember it being so far down. Let's take a look here. Where is it? Why are you hiding from me? That's odd. Oh, okay, we already have it. It's under our distillation options. So let's actually take a look real quick at our food industries. We're going to start having them. I want to make sure that they are set automatically on sweetener options. So right now we have them on bakeries. We're going to increase that to sweeteners. As we start, I don't need canneries. Pot stills will increase sugar. Right now our sugar is incredibly cheap for us. We go back to our market. It is currently, we're producing quite a bit from our rice farms, while at the same time only using 81. So of course that's going to change once those food industries are built, but that'll kind of also help drive up the price. It should make it a little bit more economical, a little bit more profitable, I should say. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and start building these food industries. In the meantime, let's take a look and see if there are any trade options available. Let's see. Our budget. So people are dying. Things are being disbanded. Let's see trade-wise. Anything we can export? I guess we don't really have the trade options. I don't know why. Is it because we don't have enough convoys, perhaps? I don't know. So I know we don't have any. Let's look at our politics, because I don't believe it's a political issue, because we have free trade. And maybe because we are traditionalist? Yeah, so it's limiting our taxation penalty, our taxation ability, not our trade. Let's see. We have free trade, land-based taxation. Ideally, I would love to move towards proportional or even per capita. That would come with a... Oh, it actually comes with a deficit. Pretty significant deficit. Interesting. Okay. Players from the peasantry. Let's see here. Health systems. We don't have pharmaceuticals or medical degrees. That may be something I'll look at as far as that. Education, perhaps? Religious schools. I would have to increase the religious access to have that. Now, let's see, if I move from freedom of conscience, move into state religion, what does that mean politically? It's not terrible at the time. So why don't we do that? It'd only be opposed by the intelligentsia. Most people don't care about having state religion. At this time, the Shinto Buddhists of Japan were extremely powerful at the time. They've been powerful for centuries. So it's the idea of having state religion is not completely outside of the wheelhouse, politically and religiously, socially for Japan. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push that forward and then start looking at religious schools to increase our access to education. Hopefully that'll lead to some qualification increases. Looks like, yeah, slowly moving towards having some food industries. And, yeah, moving on up, moving on down. Let's see, we have a playwright that is going to support our proposal. State religion will be on everybody's lips. It puts the monks in a good light, or we must ensure that it reaches the audience. Obviously, I want to have that enactment success chance. That's a tongue twister. Sorry, folks. Okay, moving on. See, we're at 48%. That is pretty good. Pretty good. One of my favorite features of this game as well is we have the music player. It's something I really wish, hopefully in the increases in Crusader Kings 3, they have a really great soundtrack. It's something that Victoria does with not only their visual effects of the game, their gameplay, they also have a really amazing, I guess it'd be their audio department or their music department is just incredible. I know that a lot of the Hearts of Iron 4 releases, for a lot of their pre-order bonuses, include some really cool songs that are appropriate for the particular DLC that's released. So for they had some fun that were dedicated for the Ottoman Empire. They kind of put some kind of Eastern themed music that were some they had for the Italian expansion. They had what was that famous Italian song? Bella Ciao. And they also kind of gave a little video about how they recorded it. I know for the newest kind of Nordic game, they're going to have sort of a, I believe it's a Finnish war song. It's going to be part of their DLC pre-order pack. It's going to include that Finnish war song. So I think that's really neat. I like those sort of those things that they do. Just to, again to finish, Mom, finish. Anyway, I'm going to finish reading this. The Buddhist monks in the islands are assuring the peasants that harsh conditions of their lives, they are serving the greater good of Japan. They should be rewarded in this afterlife for their service. With that, we can imbue them with loyalty to the state, which will increase loyalists from standard of living. Or they should resolve themselves from impure thoughts, and becomes 50% radical from decreases. So we can either give them support when standard increases, or we can have 50% less radicals. I'm going to have 50% less radicals, because right now, if you look at our radical amount, we're currently at almost 2.5 million, or we only have 123,000 supporters. So I'd rather have less radicals. So, here we go. Alright, as we continue on. Oh, something happened. We have some sort of a trade. Oh, it immediately went off the table. Trying to pause it, went immediately off the table. Alright, never mind. Alright, I think it was something from the British. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I don't know if it was a offer for trade or a protectorship or what. Was it flashed too quickly on my screen? Let's take a look at our industry, see how it's doing. So it looks like groceries are incredibly expensive, which is good because that is our output good. And our input goods are still staying fairly cheap. That is great. Let's see. We can't have canneries. We do have alcohol production from the grain and sugar. And it looks like groceries are expensive because the populations are starting to buy those. So let's look at applications. See, it's a basic food good for the first 21 levels. It's towards the bottom. Oh, it's actually equivalent to fairly towards the top. So it looks like groceries are 1.5 units. Fruit is 1.5, meat's 1.5, fish, and then grain. So it looks like food industry is really, really popular. Okay. So as you can see, the cost just shot up, kind of shot down, shot up, shot down, went up again. So it's kind of going back and forth, which is good. We have a huge deficit from our food industries. We're only producing 35, and right now we have 82 desire. So, not desire, our output orders, our buy orders are very high. So, it looks like increasing our food industries was a good idea. All right, stop, drop, and roll. Let's see. The Spanish want a defensive pact. I will accept because while it does give us a sort of a defensive buffer with Spain, it does not obligate the two of us together directly. So they're not going to ask for us to be their Caesarian or anything like that. It's just like, if they're attacked, I'll help them. If I'm attacked, they'll help me. So we're going to accept that because having Spain, that's great. That's actually probably one of the best options for us. In case there's ever an insurrection or a war. So, sorry, going back to what I was making a point about earlier, I love they have as a feature in Victoria 3 and also in Hearts of Iron 4, you not only get whatever DLC sound packs that you've ordered through the DLC thing on Steam are going to apply here. You can select individual songs as well as huge, just complete soundtracks. And I'm quite partial to Melodies of the Masses. I like kind of a lot of them have more kind of country style to them, or kind of even some Eastern European flavor, rather than just the originals from the game. So I thought Melodies of the Masses was one of my favorite DLC packs for Victoria, just because I'm a big fan of the music. Again, their music department there at Paradox does an amazing job at providing a really cool audio environment to kind of match the visual environment that the game provides. Cool. So we have Army Reservists. It's going to give us more conscriptable battalions. Paddle steaming is increased. We have medical degrees. Cool. That means that once we pass... Oh, Mesa passed. Okay, because it's no longer an option. So we have poor laws. It is supported by the industrialists and trade unions. It has a lot of support within the government. Radicalism is fairly low, but let's see if that would be something that would even pass. So that was going to be under, I believe, workers' rights? No. Let's see here. Where would that be? Social Security. Okay, it may have support of the industrialists and the trade unions, but it has huge opposition from the shogunate. And unfortunately, with the shogunate being so powerful, it's just not anything we can even think about investing in at the current time. I can, however, now that we've approved state religion, can start moving to religious-based schools. I guess not. Because I don't have... You must not have total separations... Oh, serfdom. Because we have serfdom, it will not allow us at the current time. So, that would be something I need to try to wedge out. Unfortunately, again, huge deficits of opposition. Hopefully, like if it would be possible, these of course limit the power. Serfdom gives 50% power to the shogunate, while tenant farmers, and as you go further down, increases that. Now, if I were to look at just a smidge, doing tenant farming, it wouldn't radicalize them. It only put them in opposition. I would need the support of the intelligentsia, the trade unions, industrialists, and the he-men. I apologize again for my terrible pronunciations of this game. Did that say that the samurai supported? Let me go back. That's something that was supported by the shogunate. Samurai oppose it. Oh, I can push them out of government. So what I may do this. Let's go to our government. Let's try to swap these two. Again, see, as you look here, we're actually at higher government approval, swapping out the he-men than the samurai. And again, the samurai are going to be opposed to anything that isn't serfdom. So they're more traditional. Again, they believe it's in the hands of the warrior class. In traditional Japanese society, you had your shogun at the top, was sort of the political and military leader of Japan under the emperor. The emperor almost served in a manner like the pope, as sort of the cultural and religious leader of Japan. And as you went further and further down, you had samurai served under a feudal lord known as a daimyo. Daimyo, in a manner, operated similar to like a duke or a duchess in the European style, or a jarl if you're a Viking. And then that was then disseminated into samurai lords, which are like your traditional counts and barons that you see throughout Europe. So with that, we're going to move from our samurai class having power. Looks like right now they're at 8.7. We're actually able to increase this all the way up to 11.2. Let's take a look and see if we were to push towards serfdom. Now that we have that swap, it does allow us to put that into power. Homesteading would lead to violent opposition from the shogunate, while tenant farmers, I believe, is going to... This actually leads to more power for the He-Men. Let's try this first, and if worst case, if homesteading fails, I may try to do tenant farmers. So let's start this first. Let's go all out and see what we can do. Unfortunately, we only have 11.2 success with a higher debate and stall rate. So, and no advancement possibilities. So let's start there and see where we can move. But with that, we are about out of time. So thank you for joining me for another adventure here on Victoria 3, playing as Japan. I would like to keep making more episodes in the future, so if that's something you want to see on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, as well as comment. Let me know, again, if there's some strategies that I may be missing, other nations you may want to see me play here on the channel, or if you enjoy my commentary. And just be sure that you go through and watch our other videos. We play a variety of different games, as well as we do a lot of live action stuff, and we got some new content coming here in the month of October. Kind of one of our favorite family holidays is Halloween, so we're going to have the entire month of October dedicated to both live action and Halloween-based gaming. So be sure to stay tuned for that. So, in the meantime, thank you for joining us for another episode. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, I say adieu. See you next time.